Hey guys, do you have a 986 Boxster and you want to go to a track day, but you're too tall and your helmet won't goes up past the roll bar? Well, today I'm going to show you how to ruin your driver's seat so that you can go to the track and clear the broomstick test. So today I'm going to get started addressing the main problem regarding the Boxster and me taking it to the track. Now, the issue is when I'm sitting in the car, I got no helmet on, everything's hunky-dory. The instant I put my helmet on, my helmet won't pass the broomstick test. Now, for those of you who don't know what the broomstick test is you take a broomstick like this, and you go from the top. If this is your windshield and this is your roll bar, you take and you lay the broomstick across the two, and your helmet can't touch. And that's where I'm failing. Now, the reason this is important is because if you flip your car and you're in a rollover, you don't want your helmet to be the first thing to hit the ground. So I'm gonna go get the seat out of the car, and then we're gonna take a look at it and see if I can come up with some sort of plan to drop that seat. Alright, so it looks like the place to start is by taking the side panel off. And it looks like it's just some very small Phillips screws. The screwdriver's too big. That's the ticket. This is a good time for a magnetic part spray, because I don't even want to think about the struggle bus that finding replacement parts for these would be. These just come off. They do. Wonderful. Not particularly easily though. That's because that one's there we go. I've just got a gel cell battery here, one lead. There's two wires, a brown and a red, that are the heavy gauge wires. So my guess was, hey, those are probably the main drivers for the seat back motor. So here we go. Hope I don't let the sparks out. Hey, it works. So I just have black to brown and red to red. If I didn't, it would probably just, oh no, geez. It would probably just run in reverse. Alright, so here's what I came up with for the seat brackets. And I'll show you the drawing in a minute here, but basically, when you render it all out, this is what you get. These two pieces here, that one and that one, are going to be cut separate, and then all this other stuff will be one part. So this is the pattern for the bases. They'll get cut out in one shot. And then, like I said, yeah, it'll look like this when they're done. And so this is bent, this front is bent down at 35 degrees. This face is bent up 90, obviously, and it's From the center of this bolt hole to the inside of this face is 12 millimeters. And then these holes are just spaced at 25 millimeter or 1 inch increments, both horizontally and vertically. So the reason this will work is by having this piece separate, I can set the back to whatever height I want to, and then the front, I just set it to the height I want to get the bottom raked how I want it, and then it'll just sit wherever it needs to, tack weld it, take it over to the bench, and then I can finish weld it. And we should wind up with this, but shorter, because I'll have to trim off whatever I don't use. But yeah, I think these should work pretty good. Alright guys, so these are the brackets. And as you can see, this is meant to line up with this hole. Now there's a bit of interference here, so I'm going to have to clearance some stuff. And then, so the way it goes is that bracket goes back there. You set your height at the back, right? You can pick any hole vertically. And then you set your tilt with the front. That's why the front one is loose at the moment, is it'll need to move forwards or backwards or, you know, wherever to make it work, so. And then you weld that up and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so we've got these brackets mocked up. I had to add a little bit to the front here to get the hole where it needed to be. I kind of messed up on the measuring there. But the rest is all here, so I should be able to drop the seat in, set these in place, mark it, and then I can take it over to the bench and weld it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the brackets basically where I want them, but I still touch. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's, well, the term I've seen used most, it's called a foamectomy. And that's where you take some of the foam out of the base of the seat. So I think that's all the foam I want to carve out of there. That should drop me about half an inch or so. So now to put the seat plastic back in should just be the opposite of how it came out. Alright guys, so we got the seat all back together here. A couple things to note. You got to staple each of these clips along the back to make sure they can't pop off. And then there's 2 spots on the side here on each side that you got to staple. But first, I start with getting these little white clips in. And a heads up, they're brittle and difficult. So they're easy to break. But once you have those in, then you come around with, slide the piping back on, then you do the back, and you're done. So we're gonna go put this in the car, see where it puts me for height for the helmet, and if we're gonna be okay, or if I have to go and take more out, which is gonna be more difficult the second time around. But I'm thinking it's probably gonna be fine. So I'll be right back with you over at the car. Alright guys, so as you can see, my helmet clears now. So hopefully the seat pounds out a little bit, because it's not the best fit right now, but as the foam kind of breaks in like a shoe would for the new shape, it should lower down a little bit more. That's how you lower your driver's seat in a Porsche Boxster. If you got to go more than like a 1/4 of an inch, take some measures. It's not an easy job to do. I also have so next week I'll be probably doing a video on brake pads and flushing the brake fluid on one of these. Not that it's rocket science, but gotta film something. And yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, thanks for watching and have a good one.